When you think of ancient Egypt, the first image that comes to mind is probably the Great Sphinx of Giza, a massive limestone statue with the body of a lion and the head of a human. This colossal figure has stood guard over the pyramids of Giza for over 4,500 years, silently watching over one of the most remarkable achievements of ancient civilization. But what exactly is it? Is it a guardian deity, a symbol of royal power, or something even more mysterious? Despite its grandeur and age, the Great Sphinx remains an enigma that continues to baffle historians, archaeologists, and curious minds around the world. The Sphinx's origins are shrouded in uncertainty. While most experts believe it was built during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre around 2500 BCE, some theories suggest it could have been constructed much earlier or even by a different civilization altogether. The carvings on its body reveal signs of weathering and erosion that hint at an ancient climate, possibly one with more rainfall than today's arid desert environment. This has led to speculation about how the Sphinx was carved, transported, and placed in its current location, all without any clear records or evidence pointing to a definitive answer. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Great Sphinx is the fact that it seems to be aligned with the rising sun during the winter solstice. This suggests an advanced understanding of astronomy by the ancient Egyptians, who were known for their precise celestial observations. However, this alignment has also raised questions about its purpose. Was it meant to mark a specific astronomical event or serve as a religious symbol tied to the worship of the sun god Ra? The lack of inscriptions or clear depictions of deities on its body only adds to the mystery, leaving researchers wondering what message or meaning the Sphinx was supposed to convey. The Great Sphinx's current condition is another source of fascination and concern. Its face has suffered significant damage over the centuries, with some scholars suggesting that it may have been deliberately defaced during ancient times, perhaps by invaders or as a result of political unrest. The erosion patterns on its body also raise questions about how long it has stood in its present form and whether it was originally built with a different design. These findings have led to debates among experts, some of whom believe that the Sphinx may be older than previously thought, with hidden chambers and structures yet to be discovered beneath its surface. In recent years, new technologies such as ground-penetrating radar and laser scanning have allowed researchers to explore the Sphinx in ways that were once impossible. These tools have revealed intriguing anomalies beneath the monument's base, sparking excitement among archaeologists who believe they may have uncovered hidden chambers or tunnels. While these findings are still being investigated, they have reignited interest in the Sphinx as a potential treasure trove of ancient secrets waiting to be unearthed. Whether it's a gateway to lost knowledge, a forgotten tomb, or simply an architectural marvel, the Great Sphinx continues to challenge our understanding of ancient Egypt and its mysteries. Imagine standing before one of the most iconic monuments on Earth, the Great Sphinx of Giza, and then learning that beneath its weathered limestone body lies a secret world waiting to be uncovered. Recent archaeological breakthroughs have revealed hidden chambers beneath this ancient statue, shaking up our understanding of Egypt's past and sparking fresh theories about its purpose. The discovery wasn't made by digging blindly into the sand. It was done with cutting-edge technology that would make even modern-day Indiana Jones envious. Using a combination of ground-penetrating radar, 3D laser scanning, and thermal imaging, researchers have mapped out spaces beneath the Sphinx that were previously invisible to the naked eye. These tools allowed them to peer through layers of rock and soil without disturbing the fragile structure above, which is already over 4,500 years old. What they found wasn't just a few empty rooms. It was an intricate network of cavities, some of which appear to have been deliberately constructed or modified by ancient hands. The most astonishing part of this discovery is that these chambers were completely unknown to historians and archaeologists until now. No ancient texts mention them, and no previous excavations had stumbled upon their existence. This has led to a flurry of speculation about what they might have contained, or perhaps still contain. Were they storage areas for sacred objects? Did they serve as tombs or ritual sites? Or were they simply part of the original construction process that was later forgotten by time? What makes these chambers even more intriguing is their location. They are situated directly beneath the Sphinx's body, suggesting a possible connection between the statue and whatever lay below it. This has raised questions about whether the Sphinx was built on top of an existing structure or if it was designed to align with something hidden in the earth. Some experts have even suggested that these chambers might be linked to other nearby pyramids, hinting at a far more complex network of ancient architecture than previously thought. Despite the excitement surrounding this discovery, there are still many mysteries left unsolved. The exact age of these chambers remains uncertain. Were they built thousands of years ago alongside the Sphinx? or were they created much later? And what exactly happened to whatever was inside them? As researchers continue to analyze their findings using new technologies, one thing is clear: the Great Sphinx is far from being a simple statue. It's a gateway to an ancient world that may still hold secrets waiting to be uncovered. When archaeologists finally got their hands on the hidden chambers inside the Great Sphinx of Giza, they weren't just uncovering stone walls and dust. They were peeling back layers of history that had been buried for thousands of years. Among the first things they found were fragments of ancient inscriptions etched into the walls, which hinted at a deeper connection between the Sphinx and the religious practices of the time. These inscriptions didn't just describe the monument. They seemed to praise it as a divine guardian, linking it to the gods and the pharaohs who ruled over Egypt. It was like finding a secret diary from the past, offering clues about how people viewed this colossal statue. But what really shocked researchers were the artifacts that turned up in these hidden spaces, objects that defied their expectations. Among them were small ceramic jars filled with grains and seeds, which suggested that the chambers might have once been used for ritualistic purposes. Imagine walking into a room that was meant to be a sacred space, where priests or worshippers would gather to offer something to the gods. These jars could be seen as offerings, perhaps left by ancient Egyptians who believed the Sphinx held power over life and death. The presence of such items raised questions about whether the Sphinx was more than just a statue. It might have been a site of spiritual significance. Then there were the mysterious tools and fragments of metal that researchers uncovered, which hinted at some kind of craftsmanship or construction activity taking place inside these chambers. These objects didn't look like they belonged to the time period when the Sphinx was originally built, around 2500 BCE. That's when many archaeologists began to rethink everything they thought they knew about the monument. If tools from a later era were found in these spaces, it could mean that the Sphinx wasn't just a static structure. It might have been modified or used by different generations of Egyptians over time. It was as if the Sphinx had a life of its own, changing and evolving with the people who worshipped it. One of the most intriguing discoveries came in the form of a series of ancient symbols that were carved into the walls of these hidden chambers. These weren't just random markings. They appeared to be part of a larger narrative about the Sphinx's role in Egyptian mythology. Some of the symbols resembled those found in temple complexes, which led researchers to speculate that these chambers might have once been used for ceremonial purposes or even as a kind of sacred library where ancient texts were stored. It was mind-blowing to think that someone, long ago, had gone to such lengths to create a hidden space within one of the world's most famous landmarks. These findings challenged the traditional view of the Sphinx as merely a symbol of royal power or a representation of a god. Instead, they suggest that it might have been an active part of religious and cultural life in ancient Egypt. The presence of inscriptions, offerings, and tools all point to the idea that this monument was not just admired from afar, but was deeply involved in the spiritual practices of its time. If that's true, then the Sphinx wasn't just a statue. It was a living, breathing part of history, whispering secrets to those who dared to listen. Now, let's dive into the big question that has scholars scratching their heads and historians raising their eyebrows. Were these hidden chambers in the Sphinx part of the original design, or did some ancient builder, perhaps with a bit too much ambition, carve them out later? The debate is as hot as the Egyptian sun, with experts on both sides arguing like it's a medieval debate over the best way to build a pyramid. Some say the chambers were there from the start, hidden beneath layers of sand and time, waiting for someone to uncover their secrets. Others argue that these spaces were added centuries after the Sphinx was built, possibly by a civilization with advanced engineering skills we've yet to fully understand. You see, if you believe the chambers were part of the original construction, it changes everything about what we know about ancient Egypt's architectural capabilities. The idea that the builders of the Sphinx had access to tools and techniques that rival modern-day engineering is mind-blowing. But then again, if they were built later, it raises even more questions. Who built them? Why did they choose the Sphinx as their canvas? And what were they trying to hide? These are not just academic musings. They're the kinds of questions that could rewrite our entire understanding of ancient history. On the other hand, there's the theory that these chambers are the result of natural erosion or accidental digging. Imagine a group of workers chiseling away at the Sphinx's body for some reason, maybe to carve out an inscription or to create a hidden space for offerings. And in their efforts, they accidentally uncovered something that should never have been there. It's like when you're trying to fix a leaky faucet and end up uncovering the entire plumbing system. But again, this theory has its own set of problems. If these chambers were created by accident, why do they look so intentional? Why are they perfectly aligned with the Sphinx's structure in such an intricate way? The debate isn't just about where the chambers came from. It's also about what they mean for our understanding of ancient engineering. Some scholars argue that if these chambers were built intentionally, it suggests that the Egyptians had a far greater grasp of architecture and construction than we previously believed. Others counter that such advanced techniques would have required tools and knowledge that don't match up with what we know about their technology at the time. It's like saying someone built a jet engine using only stone tools. Impossible, right? But wait, maybe they were just really good at what they did. So where does this leave us? Well, it leaves us in a bit of a pickle. On one hand, we have evidence that suggests the chambers were there from the beginning, with their precise placement and construction. On the other hand, the lack of clear historical records or artifacts linking these chambers to any known civilization makes it hard to say for sure. It's like finding a mysterious room in your house with no explanation. Did you build it? Did someone else? Or was it just always there? The truth might be out there, waiting for us to uncover it. But until then, the debate rages on. Imagine standing in front of the Great Sphinx of Giza, that colossal limestone monument that has watched over Egypt for thousands of years. For centuries, it was believed to be a simple statue of a lion with a human head, built during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre around 2500 BCE. But what if we told you that beneath its weathered surface lies something far more astonishing? These newly discovered hidden chambers could shake the very foundation of our understanding of ancient Egyptian civilization, challenging long-held beliefs about their technological capabilities and cultural achievements. One of the most mind-blowing implications of these findings is the possibility that the Egyptians possessed a level of engineering knowledge far beyond what we previously thought. The construction techniques required to carve such an immense statue from a single block of limestone, let alone create concealed chambers within it, suggest an advanced understanding of materials science and structural integrity. Could this mean that ancient Egypt was not just a civilization with great artistry, but also one with cutting-edge technology? Now imagine the implications if these hidden spaces were used for purposes other than what we've traditionally assumed. Perhaps they were not merely storage areas or tombs, but something more mysterious, like secret meeting places, celestial observatories, or even sacred chambers reserved for rituals and ceremonies. Such discoveries could rewrite history books, offering a glimpse into an ancient society that may have had a far greater connection to the stars and cosmic forces than we ever imagined. These findings also open up exciting possibilities regarding interactions between ancient Egyptian civilization and other cultures around the world. If these hidden chambers contained artifacts or inscriptions from distant lands, it could indicate that the Egyptians were not isolated, but rather part of an intricate web of trade, diplomacy, and cultural exchange. Could this mean that the pharaohs had knowledge of distant civilizations, or even shared technologies with them in ways we have yet to fully understand? Beyond the academic implications, these discoveries serve as a powerful reminder of how much more there is to learn about our past. Every new chamber uncovered beneath the Sphinx is like opening a portal into an ancient world that was once thought long lost. It challenges us to question what we know and reevaluate the stories we've been told, sparking curiosity in both scholars and everyday people who are captivated by the mystery of human history. And so, as we continue to explore these hidden spaces, one thing is certain. The story of ancient Egypt is far more complex and fascinating than we ever imagined.